Okay, thank you very much for joining for another video. This is another Meet the Streamer, and today we are got not just a streamer, a World Warships community contributor as well. It's TcFreer. How you doing? Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Thank you. So, tell us a bit about your name. Is it a pseudonym? A bit about your stream? What's your style, etc.? Where we can find you, stream times, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so a lot of people just call me TC. It's easier. It makes more sense, and there's no other complications of working out whether it's Freer or Freer or Fear or it's just TC. It's dead simple that way. That name stuck with me from a long time. So it's just I had some time off from work, sat looking for something to do. Found of all things World of Tanks. I've always been a bit of a war engineering geek and things like that. So decided to get into it.
So history is quite a big part of your what drawed you into the wargaming sphere, as it were, in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And when do you stream generally?
Okay, so generally it's Saturdays and Sundays. I bolster the weekend weight as it is. Anywhere between 8 and 9, sometimes even as late as 10 we start. We try and start as early as possible and then go to mid-afternoon, late afternoon. Saturdays is just kick back, chill out, randoms, co-ops. Mm-hmm. If rank's on, we'll do a bit of ranks and have a giggle in there. Usual stupidity happens. Sundays we often try and run what we call Bob's Forecast. So there's about 7 or 8 of us get together, play operations. So it's obviously one of the game modes in the game. Sometimes we're lucky enough that his gnomish overlord joins us, Mr. The Mighty Jingles.
I can't beat the Mighty Jingles. If you can let him out the salt mines anyway.
Definitely, he's an awesome dude. We've got a lot of time from him, and he's just it's really just kind of one of those surreal moments. I'm actually playing and streaming with Jingle. Like, wow.
So what got you into streaming in the first place? Because yesterday, of day of recording of this, on the 16th of September, was your 6-year anniversary. So what made you hit that button to say go live?
I started watching Twitch probably more like 7.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's a 1.5 year gap between starting Twitch and me streaming on Twitch. And I started watching it because a few of my friends said, come watch this guy, he's really good, you'll learn a lot. And what hadn't been long since I'd started playing World of Tanks, and I was looking to try and find ways to improve, YouTube, the normal routes, and people said, come on, you can ask questions, stuff like that. And started watching a few people. And there was only one guy who I really clicked with, as such. And it's someone called Line Starts Here. He was an NA lad, and he was pretty clear and upfront. He was like, anyone can do this. All you got to do is just make sure you can stream, check your details, and off you go. It kind of dawned on me that actually, I'd spoken to Line for a little bit before. It's just a normal player like me. He's not a super unicum. He's not a blue unicum. He's nothing. He's just a normal guy having fun and playing on the internet. And everybody I'd watched up until then was like super serious, have to win at all costs, and if we don't win, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. And it was like, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't learn anything. All I learned was that they thought they were the best at it and that they should win 100% of the time. And it kind of dawned on me that we're not all like that. We're not all going to win 100% of the time.
No.
So
it was his connection to you as the audience in this scenario before you started, which really, said, if this guy could do it. And does this Line Starts Now here still actually stream? Because we'll put a link in his description as always.
Unfortunately not. Line has become daddy cool. he got married. He moved from the East Coast to the West Coast. He got married. He's got a little kid. Still try and keep in touch as much as possible with him, but obviously, as you well know, Mr. Slack.
Yes, I do know.
Father life is always a bit of an odd one.
Particularly does not help with any sort of schedule you have. But I think with you, the audience is very important at that point, because if they understand you and your concerns, that they will come back, and you end up with the same people coming back, and that is quite big, because I know you're part of Bob's, the bloke, and the community. I've been on your streams, and the community is huge in your area. They're always so supportive, and you're right, they don't seem to come across as unicorn players or people who are just going to want to win at all costs. So how did that develop? How did Bob's actually start and develop, and from nothing, as it were?
So I've been streaming ships for probably coming up for 6 months or so, and I was perfectly happy. I was enjoying it, and I started to look for other streams as we do. We go and look at what other people are doing, and we join other channels and other streams and stuff like that. See how they are, and I came across this channel, and what immediately got me was just so much fun. That it was amazingly fun, and it was Grumpy, the Grumpy Beard, the one and only, and we got talking, and out of nowhere, he just decided to drop a raid on me one day. And then we started to play some games together, as you do. Tiger got involved as well, Tiger's Den. And we started calling ourselves the Brotherhood of Beards, as it was, because at that time we were growing a little bit of a chin covering, as it was. And Grumpy and Tiger had the full Scandinavian Viking going. And it just went from there. And then just after Tankfest, 2016? Yeah, 2016, 2017, just after Tankfest 2017, 2016. I just been lucky enough that WG had said, would you like to be a CC?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, me and some of my friends were talking, and we decided to set up our own clan at the time. Didn't know where it would go, and we were looking for a name. We were talking, and we're all quite big fans of a certain actor whose pronunciation of the word Bob. Yes, Bob. Very interesting. Bob. For those of you who don't know, it's from Mr. Rowan Atkinson, and it just stuck. And it was like, well, so what does Bob's mean? And without even thinking, it was Brotherhood of Birds. Bob's.
Brilliant. Okay.
And we've been infamous ever since.
So I think that's a great intro there. So you've, as always, you've provided some wonderful photographs. So let's cue the music and let rip. Excellent. Thank you very much for those photographs, TC. So, yeah, I know you've recently updated your PC because I've been following on Twitter and etc. So, what did you move from, and what have you moved to now, and what was your reasons for choosing those pieces of equipment?
So, really simple. I mean, first of all, let's cover the reason for changing. My old setup, and I use the word old in the loosest sense because it has carried me from 0 to just over 13,500 followers. It was a 2014 Devil's Canyon i5 4690K. So yes, it was a good quad core at the time, but many years have passed, and Um, it's basically been sat burning a hole in the motherboard from the day I got it straight through to now.
Did it surprise you that you could do so much with what's classed now as relatively old kit? I mean, did it surprise you that to start streaming that your power of your PC didn't matter too much?
No. And the reason I'm saying no is that I made a conscious choice when I spec'd and built that PC, which was done by a friend who used to run a shop in my local town. The thing I told him was, I really want to fancy having a go at this content production sort of stuff. I want to see if I can do something with it. And he said, well, what? He said, okay, well, let's build it to do that. So from the ground up, it was actually built not as a full-on streaming PC or gaming PC. It was actually built to render 1080p 60 FPS videos. And obviously, as a byproduct of that, pretty good at gaming and surprisingly very stable for streaming as well. So that was the main reason we built the PC to do that. So it kind of didn't come as a surprise that it could do it. What surprised me more is the fact that the minor tweaks, and they're not minor as a per se, but they are a rather minor set of tweaks that have been done over the 6 years. Yeah, actually 6.5 years, because I had it a few months before I first went live. Over the 6.5 years that I've owned it and that I own that setup, what surprised me the most is reliability. It's not missed a beat, and it's not had an easy life. It would sit constantly at 100% memory and CPU usage, which anybody who is a tech guru will currently be probably smacking their head against the desk going, why, you evil person? Let's get it straight though. Let's get it straight though. They were called Devil's Canyon for a reason, and it saved me a fortune in heating in the house. It ran really hot, even with a big one. It had a huge water cooler on it. Just an AIO, but it had a huge water cooler on it, and it still ran hot. To the point where, as you'll have seen in the pictures, I stripped the case down that it was in just to improve airflow. So it had the sides taken off, the front taken off. I had a big fan blowing air through it. I even went to the extremities of getting an ice bag off the back of the fan, so it was cold air being blown over it.
Good Lord! And
the things we do.
Yeah, things you do. And what GPU was in it? What graphics card was in it?
So I started off with a GTX 660. That was actually, it wasn't a full 660. It was an OEM out of an old Alienware PC that a friend gave me. So it wasn't even the full 2 gig. It was a little 1.5 gig GTX. And then the major tweak we made to it was we switched that from a GTX 660 to a 1070 Founders Edition. So we dropped that in it, and off we went. And it was carried on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you probably I dropped in there a bit too early there, but I'm guessing we talk about your new PC with you went to Ryzen, I believe. Yes.
There will be members of Bob's who may see this who will say, yeah, we know the pain we went through convincing him to go to AMD. I saw that I was going to be in a very fortunate position. And I said it at the time, and I say it every single time. I'm so grateful for the peeps who watch the channel and who helped out, because I wouldn't have it without them. There is, I probably would be able to afford it in a couple of months' time. I wouldn't have been able to afford it when I did. And it's a massive thanks to the peeps there who just, didn't even think, just went, yeah, sure, they're done. Right, you're getting
Brilliant.
It. You need it. So yeah, I spent 8 weeks because we heard the new 10 series, Intels were coming out. It's like, ooh, nice. 8 cores, 500 quid, 10900, 10700K. looks like it's going to be a really good time to upgrade because I'm way out of date. But hey, they're not too expensive. Nice, good bang for buck. And all the time I was talking to like Crash New York, Mr. Greggles, Ethermaster, Kirsten, all the guys from Bob's, all the techie heads, and obviously the guys and girls at AWD as well. And they were all saying the same thing. For what I do, and for what obviously for what we do, why am I even looking at Intel? Because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We're in a position whereby we push our machines harder than the normal user. When you hear people talking about IT equipment stuff, like you hear them talking about enthusiast grade and things like that, we're actually the level above enthusiast grade now. It goes down from CAD, content, enthusiast, gamer. And it's like, we're a level above gamers. We look down on you. But that's the reality of what we do and how we use a machine.
Yeah.
And Ryzen, you can't argue with it. It is totally and utterly unbeatable when it comes to multi-thread, multi-core, high-level render and processing work. It just sits there and goes, bring it on. Yeah. And it just does it with such ease.
Yeah, same. I'm a Ryzen user and I'm running the first gen chip and it still does all this quite easily. Yeah, no worries. And so your peripherals, I noticed you use 2 screens. So how would you set up with that? So do you have one with the game, one with the OBS, or how would you run your stream in terms of using two setup, your current setup?
Pretty normal. I'm actually 2 screens down than what I would be normally.
Okay.
Mainly because the desk is a little bit smaller. So what I would do is the HAN, the screen on the left-hand side, which has got the camera mounted on it as well. That is literally TeamSpeak, Discord, OBS itself, my Nightbot beta program. That's all the chat. Everybody over there, everybody's there. Everybody's been, so I can talk and engage with everybody over there. The big FreeSync AOC, the big 24-inch, that's my primary gaming screen. And again, that's part of the upgrade package that I did on the machine. I switched out a very old, very big, heavy old AOC screen for this new one, and I'm pretty happy with them.
They're good. Webcam and microphone to use?
Mic is a Rode NT USB,
Okay.
one of the most common one used by everybody. Really, really good value for money as well if you're looking for a step up from like a Yeti or anything like that. I think the entire kit, the boom, the shock mount, the mic and everything was about £200. Currently sporting a very expensive Adidas sock as the pop filter.
I did notice
off.
that. That was going to be my next question. Is that that's an interesting muffler?
Yeah. I just finished doing some recording actually on one of my videos, and I just decided to just move the mic a bit and see if I can get it see if I can improve the audio and block it out, because obviously sometimes when the fans ramp up on the PC you can hear it or things like that. So I'm just trying to move it around so it got as much coverage, but also the audio worked a little bit better. And as I moved the mic, it went very heavy in my hand, and it was like, oh no. And just a very, very clean break. Clearly a fracture already in the actual connector. It's the only part on the mic is beautifully made. Obviously we know Rode products are great, but the only part on the entire connector that is not made of metal is the plastic connector between the part that connects to the arm and the part that connects to the mic holder. And it's literally that part, and it's just a clean break straight through. So it lost its pop filter.
It lost its pop, and it still works. But a sock, that's classic. It works.
Yeah, it's a very expensive Adidas sports sock. Clearly one I don't use anymore.
Okay. All right.
It was washed.
2 years ago, folks. 2 years ago. Okay.
No. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks.
Okay, right. No worries.
It's a very clean sock.
Right. So, do you want to run through your different scenes you use for your stream? I'll move
Sure.
myself out of the footage and we'll see how it goes. So what ones do you your main use ones?
Okay, so I got quite a few different scenes set up on OBS, but right at the top is the very first one we use. That is this. This is, obviously I've got my Thunderbirds opening doors there. And this is just a bog standard welcome to the stream. A couple of bit funny things, the Reef logo obviously. A bit of a stream rules telling people just to chill out, relax as you do. These were all done by a friend of mine, no longer with us, but he spent some time putting all these together for me. And I am massively grateful for him for that, because I think they work very well. Then, you might not hear this, but it then rolls into my intro video. Hub says it goes on for ages. You probably can hear it and it might be a little bit loud, so obviously we'll have to play about with that for you before it goes out. Intro video again was done by someone else. I'm about to announce as well, we ran a competition on the Bob's Discord, so we actually have a new intro coming. I can't share anything else on that, but we do have a new intro coming.
I won't submit mine then, my entry.
Well, don't worry, if you've got one, you've got a couple of days to get it in.
Oh no, I have time.
Then we go into our gaming scene. Again, Thunderbird's door open and close, and hello. I'm sat down here in the corner. Obviously, images for display purposes only, just in case anybody thinks anything like that. That's how it's normally laid out, with obviously the game behind, the port, or in-game or anything like that. I don't really change anything. That's how it stays. I do have stream races as well. That's a little free program to have a load of fun with. So obviously I haven't got stream races up and running, but that's there. Yeah. And then
Stream Races let's go to Stream Races a bit. So that's a free program people can jump in and play with your audience, can jump in and play with that one.
Yeah, that's right. Stream Races is completely free. It's on Steam. You don't need it yourself to actually take part, because it's all done through your Twitch chat. So once you start, people just type !race in chat, and then they can boost, make the little cars go faster. Anything like that. They can either cheer 10 bits as well to boom people out of the way to win and things like that. We have a lot of fun. It gets a bit crazy, but it's totally free to anybody to download. So if you are looking for something to have some fun with your chat and things like that, I do recommend. It's a lot of good fun.
And how do you, in terms of you as a streamer, how important is that interaction with chat, so they can do something extra? Yeah,
massive chat interaction. I mean, I didn't realise it, but I've been kind of going by the word C since I started streaming. And that is your schedule, your entertainment, and your audio. Those are the major three things for anybody who's looking to start streaming. Schedule, try and stick to one as much as you can do, or as much as is physically possible. Because once you build up the reliability, then everything else starts to snowball behind it. Entertain. Don't worry about who's watching you. Don't worry about who's not watching you. Have as much fun as you possibly can do and enjoy yourself doing it, because nobody wants to come in and see someone looking... you don't want to see that. You want to see someone who's smiling, someone who's happy, positive, fun, enjoyable, and who you want to say hello to. I make it a big factor of it. I try and give as warm a welcome as possible to anybody who joins, and even if I see the numbers going up, and I'm I don't, and there's only a few people still talking in chat, stop and take those 5 seconds and say, guys, a massively warm welcome to you all. Thank you for coming and joining us. Make them feel welcome as you can do, because you don't know what kind of day somebody's having who's watching you. They could be just looking for somewhere to chill out and relax after having horrible games, or getting some bad news, or they could be in the happiest mood in the world and just looking, where can I really share this? I'm really bubbling and happy with it. You don't know until you break the ice and give them the first thing.
And with that, let's see how stream has changed. And thank you for that. We've just done a little bit of a montage there to when I've come back into the room of the stream of how it's changed through the ages, through World of Tanks all the way to the current day, which brings on to the next real segment, but talking about the future and where you're going to take your stream.
Yeah.
Now, through when you're going through your scenes, and as you're starting to get quite a few affiliates there, you support the Fleet Air Arm and also AWD IT, a company. So tell us how that came about and how sponsorship is going to help move forward with your stream to the next level, as it were.
Okay, so they are two separate things, and just to make it really clear, AWD are actually a channel sponsor. The Fleet Arm is a charity, a non-for-profit organisation that I support myself. And that also supports the Fleet Air Arm Museum in Yeovil. So they're two very different things.
Yeah, sorry, I missed.
It's all right. Don't worry, it's not a problem. So we'll start with AWD because they've been quite it's been quite a surreal experience. Up until middle of July, never had any channel sponsors or stuff like that. I had a couple of affiliate programs that were just affiliate programs. I know it sounds kind of blasé to say like that, but it's not. An affiliate program is kind of just you saying that you like a product, you saying you like CD Keys or G2A or Greenman Gaming, stuff like that, and putting a link out there for people to go and have a look at and get themselves. With AWD, it's a full-on channel sponsorship. It's the first time they've done it, and it's the first time I've actually been involved doing it as well. Mm-hmm. So they've come on board. Obviously, yesterday they gave away a 960 gig SSD. That was one. Wow. That was won by somebody in America. It's currently, I think, last time I checked, it had just landed in Newfoundland. So it's nearly there already, which is insane to think. But AWD, Paulie, Mike, the guys there have been absolutely phenomenal. It's where I got all of it from.
What do they do?
They're basically a full-on IT computer parts and computer builder. So it's where I got all of my parts from my upgrade. They were a phenomenal company to deal with, and it just kind of made me think, you know what, I've just experienced really good customer service. I've experienced really good, just general service, help, contact, the way they spoke and everything like that. It's like, I want to share this with other people. Can I, do you have an affiliate link? Do you have anything like that? And the conversation progressed. Obviously, some of it's quite sensitive, so I can't really go into it.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
And the result of it is it's just been phenomenal. We're seeing great positives on both sides. Obviously we've seen a few people buying stuff as well and getting involved, and coming back and giving this and having the same experience I did. And nothing feels better than knowing that I'm justified in them being on board, because what they helped me with, they're helping other people with. And other people are saying, people come back and say, you know what, spot on. They really are spot on. Yep. And I don't go looking for sponsorships, asking for sponsorships. I do the if I want to, I'm going to do it off my own back, because I'm not a full-time streamer. I'm not a full-time streamer yet. I'm the guy at the weekend that everybody comes to get away from weekend games from. Yeah,
and find weekend players instead.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's where you find all the weekend players. Yeah,
that's fantastic. And you did touch on it briefly there. Was that you're thinking of not pro yet, but with your recent 6-year video, which will be linked in the description below. You're thinking of maybe taking it to the next level and going full time.
Well, I actually announced it this time last year.
Right.
What I decided was that I'm shockingly, I am 35 and a half years old. And I made a decision that I'm having the time of my life doing this at weekends, and as much as I love my actual IRL job as we do to split everything apart, Um, I really want to see if I could do this full time. I really want to see if I can live off this. Move it from this amazing passion and hobby that I've got into actually the next stage, which is work. And I sat down. I broke out Excel. When in doubt, go to what you know. And I literally sat and I went through every single penny of income, every single penny of outgoing, what I needed to have, where I needed to be, how long it would take me to get to position X or position Y, and could I achieve it? And how long was a realistic length of time to achieve those goals? And the more I sat and the more I thought about it, the more it was a case of, 5 years' time, 40th birthday, maybe it's a goer. Maybe it's, maybe this is my midlife crisis. Most people, some people will buy a Porsche. Other people will, buy a yacht or go on a fancy holiday and things like that. I want to take a year out from real work to work. I'll let you try and get your head around that because it doesn't sound sane to anybody, including my parents.
No, I think people. I'm 30, exactly the same age as yourself, and I think it's when people say you do what now, and you're like, what? That's for the youngsters, and you actually find lots of streamers of all ages doing this. I mean, it's just fantastic. So I take it are you in your year out now? Is this going to start in next year? As it were?
No, we are 4.5 years off doing it. Okay. I've kind of set myself a gentle goal of my 40th. I've spoken to my boss already about it. We've had a bit of a laugh about it, and I think his words were, as long as it's automated enough to survive a year without you, we might be all right. So
that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Got that support.
It's still a maybe though. We'll see how we do. I've just got to keep my head down, make sure we get in a position, and it's quite interesting actually, because when you look at the transformation from just doing it for fun and enjoying it to actually, making sure you can pay the bills and things like that, it does make things very much more daunting and put a lot more pressure on you. And the way I'm mitigating that, the way I'm getting away from that, and the way I'm making sure that it doesn't for me, is I'm giving myself a year's buffer. So same as if anybody who does contracting and things like that in the world of work, you make sure you've got your war chest, your year's wage, basically just sat there to cover your bills and your outgoings and everything for a year, and it takes all the pressure off it, and it means you can really enjoy it and throw yourself into it. So that's where we're thinking. That's where we're hoping. Of course, if we have another year like this year, who knows what's going to happen.
I was going to say that's obviously you can't plan for those sorts of things. So with your other platforms, obviously you've got your YouTube channel, links in the description as always, and up in whatever corner it goes.
Got a little YouTube.
Will you be developing the other parts of your product effectively if you're going to be doing this full time?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is one of the things I've always wanted to think. What can I do with? Like you said, we're doing the Meet the CC. We've been doing this kind of video, but with wargaming and with the CCs, and it's. I mean, I will say that yours is a lot more polished in terms of how you're doing it. Mine is very rough and ready because literally. There's no stopping and starting. There's no cutting. There's no nothing. It's literally the minute you hit the record button.
Shh, that's the secrets. That's the secrets.
None of that really happens. It's all one take, by the way. But no, I mean, mine has been. It's one take, and if it goes wrong, do you know what? Don't matter. It goes up. What you see is what you see. No airs, no graces. That's it. And you either like it or you don't. It's that simple. But to grow it, and as you said, to make it a viable part of the offering, part of the the brand as such and things like that. Yeah, I need to know what to do with it, and I don't. YouTube is my Achilles heel. I don't know what to do with it. I try my best, but we'll figure something out. For me, Twitch is the part that drives everything for me. I love it. I love it to bits. I love everything about it to bits.
When we went through your different sponsorships, you also mentioned you're a big fan of the Fleet Air Museum. How did that come about, and why are you so passionate about this organisation?
Yeah, massively passionate about the Society of Friends of the Fleet Air Museum, SOFAM as it's known. Two of my best friends, IRL, both live down there, so it's somewhere we go whenever we get together. Current climate not allowing, of course, and it's just there's so much history that they're involved in. Every quarter there's a magazine that gets produced either digitally or in snail mail paper format called Jabberwock. Within it there's articles with loads of history in there. There's conversational letters actually that go on between editor and historians and readers and members. They've had articles on Wing Commander Eric Brown and stuff like that. One of our most famous test pilots.
One of the famous test pilots. Didn't he do pretty much everything we captured during the Second World War? I think, or certainly flew most of them.
Pretty much, yeah. He was a heck of a man. Flew more things than most people have ever imagine. But yeah, they do that. They organise talks as well every month. There's a monthly talk. Obviously, we've not had one for a while because of the current situation. But a couple of ones they organise, for example, the last serving United States Air Force colonel of the 71 Blackbird squadrons. Kind of people you just don't get access to.
No.
That kind of information is just lost. And it came to light that we're kind of the youngest members there, and it's like that's not right. We need to get more people involved in this. We need to get the younger audiences as well knowing more about this, so you can learn from it, you can understand from it, you can take on board, because it's easy to read in a textbook. To actually be able to go and touch it and see it and understand it is a whole different life, whole different thing.
Totally agree. I mean, when you would go around like the old museums and you see the stop with Camel, the First World War planes, you go, really? Yes. They fought wars in this thing, and then you go, oh wow. Then they obviously got the Spitfire Hurricane and Seafire and Sea Hurricanes and what we threw together, Lancaster Corsairs, etc. So yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic organisation. Of course, we have links everywhere for that as well. So as a final wash up then, so the floor is yours. You've got like a couple of minutes to discuss where anything I've missed or anything where we'll find you, and any hints and tips really.
No, we've covered pretty much everything. What you see is what you get. Is I am who I am. If you want to see me, if you want to see us, you're more than welcome to come along on Saturdays and Sundays. We have a laugh. We treat gaming for what it is, an escape from reality, to just forget about the bad times and have as much fun as we can do. I suppose if I'm allowed to mention it, big up and coming event for us is going to be the Bob's Christmas stream.
Yeah, of course, go for it.
It's the difficult third wild child. Last year we did 72 hours with pretty much non-stop 200 plus viewers, with about 30 streamers. It was absolutely insane. Loads of ships and premium time and doubloons and games given away. Just a whole heap of fun. Some really well-known people who you know, some people you don't know as well, just getting involved and freely giving them the time to have fun. So we're heavily in DEFCON plan for that at the minute, and it's already going a bit crazy.
And how would one want to go and join on this thing?
We have put it on the Bob's Discord. So links to that are dotted all around my stream, a few of the other guys' streams as well. it's on there. There's a specific thread. It's very, very clear. It's the Bob's 2020 Christmas event. We are looking for streamers who want to take part. We only allow you to have a 2.5 hour slot, purely from a health and safety standpoint, just so you don't tire yourself out and you don't go too far. But if you don't want to stream on it, but you do want to take part, we also are this year looking for what we're calling stream mods. You're not actually going to be a mod on the channel or anything like that, but you are going to be kind of a hand holder for the streamers to make sure it hands off correctly, that names are put on spreadsheets for prizes to be given out, things like that. We've got a schedule that we're going to set up. We are going to announce dates very soon as well, as soon as we got that buttoned. And we also have a prize list that if anybody would like to contribute to, they're more than welcome to. Majority of it is self-funded through the Bobs. But if anybody wants to chuck anything in, we do make it is known who that person is, and we do put it on the list. So that's Christmas that we're planning. I suppose one thing that I'm planning, and you can all thank Hub in your own indomitable ways, is we agreed if we did anything, if we got to almost 1 million channel points, which we nearly did actually in about 30 odd days, we're gonna have a dark playthrough of Alien Isolation. I'm the biggest wuss in the world ever. I cannot do horror movies. I can't even sit in a broad, sunny room and watch anything as close to horror as like Jack Frost. I just can't do it. I am that big a wuss. So in my infinite stupidity, we've agreed we're going to do this, and yeah, I have no idea what I'm letting myself into, but that's on Saturday the 31st of October.
Fair. All right. Well, we'll definitely stay tuned to that. Okay, TC, thanks very much for joining me. Thanks for being part of the Meet the Streamer series. I'm sure we'll meet again sometime, maybe across the battlefield, maybe on a stream sometime. So say good night, folks. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one. Thank you. Bye.